You've heard monk mode, you've heard SMMA, you haven't heard SMMA monk mode or monk mode for SMMA. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what monk mode protocol you need to follow in order to win an SMMA and get your first client fast. So the habits you need to follow, the non-negotiables, you can go from absolutely nothing, like I was, to something, right? And I was skinny, I was unhealthy, I was addicted to video games, and most importantly, I had no money at all. Sometimes nostalgia can blind me. I think these times were good, but ultimately it really wasn't a fun period of my life, and it was time to change. Felt like I'd already destroyed my life. How could such a drastic switch be possible in such a short amount of time? And the answer for me was a little bit different than anything I'd actually ever seen online, because for some reason I couldn't keep up with most of the monk mode protocols. I'd go hard for 2 to 3 days, and I'd grab my phone before noon, or I'd spend the whole day scrolling social media, and it would demoralize me. It would make me feel shameful and like a failure. I'm not sure if this is relatable to you, but if it is, it's because of something called a disciplinary homeostasis. Because you have a given 100 bits of energy during a day, and I found a lot of monk mode protocols will make you and ask you to use 140 bits, which you don't have. You only have 100 bits, and that causes a meditation and not going on social media. It wasn't a habit. When it becomes one, then it'll be viable. Right? But in the meantime, it will be biologically and physically impossible to sustain. And that is why I made my own protocol, one that no matter how bad or good your existing habits are, you can follow. And one that I followed and one that gave me clients. And I don't guarantee you a crazy physique. I don't guarantee you Zen. I don't guarantee you a girlfriend. But I believe that if you follow the non-negotiables, you will have a client. So non-negotiable 1 is 100 outreaches per day. Getting your first client relies almost entirely on outreach, which is the responding to text, just like how you do with your friends that message you during the day. It's your highest leverage activity, but it's really not a deep work type of activity. So you don't need 4 hours of deep work. When I was booking the most amount of meetings that I ever did in my life, 2 to 5 daily, I was outside most of the day playing tennis in the summer. And in the morning, I would sit down for 2 hours, only 2 hours. I'd scrape leads for 1 hour, I'd message leads for 1 hour, and then I'd just respond the rest of the day. And that was it. You respond while in school, while in the gym. It is location independent. And the 2 hours of work, you can do it in the morning, the night, or whenever you want in the day. And after some practice, it will take a lot less than actual 2 hours, because it takes any longer than 2 hours, watch some Instagram or Facebook lead scraping videos because you're doing something wrong. You can pop out a list of 20 to 40 in any section. So non-negotiable 2, along with the 100 outreaches, the gym, walk for at least 15 minutes. Probably don't need this non-negotiable, but you're a lot better than me. But it was especially important for me because I was a hardcore gamer. I'd be cooped up indoors for weeks on end. And it was a little bit of activity that allows you to stay sane and make sure your mind just doesn't go absolutely to shit. And that's it, right? If you follow those 2 non-negotiables for 30 days, you will most likely have more than one client. And it's really just outreach. But there's one thing we need to go through, and that is the non-negotiables. Things you can do and probably are good for you, but don't directly actually relate to getting your first client. And this is what a lot of monk mode protocols will have as the non-negotiables. So non-negotiable is a self-improvement habit. Meditation, journaling, and affirmations are all habits. Personally went on an 80-day streak of all 3. They made my life better in different aspects, but not my business. Cutting the fat, cleared my vision. I saw that only outreach would actually get me results. Because if you are really doing the thing and the only thing you actually really want is a client, then it shouldn't be considered the sole focus to sit down and meditate, right? And that was absolutely huge for me. I would spend my whole day, and let me pull up my paint, so my whole day, let's say I got my 100 bits of energy, spend my 100 bits, and I would do minus 80, or go minus 80 would leave me with 20 bits, and this 80 would be habits. We're going to be left with 20 bits of energy to just grow my business. And that's not enough, right? What if instead of these habits, you made this 80 bits outreach, right? You'd have 20 bits left for your habits, but you'd have a client, right? And that's kind of the non-negotiable aspect of actually getting these clients. Next thing was a superstition discipline. So I used to deal with superstitions, even though I didn't call them that. They just were superstitions. So if I woke up at 9:15 instead of 7 a.m., I would freak out, think my day's over, and I just wouldn't get anything done because I was attached to my success, and I attached my success to my actual habits, right? There were 2 separate things. There were my habits and there was my success. But I put them together. And when you do that, you will absolutely screw up your day, because there are people who wake up hungover and run their 8-figure company. Or there are people that travel while running their companies and they have no dedicated wake-up time. They have jet lag and they have screwed up habits, but they still get their work done every single time, and they make a lot more money than both you and I, right? So making this mindset adjustment has allowed me to be just ultra consistent, because no matter what goes on in the day outside of everything else that happens, I knew it was a good day so long as I sent my 100 messages, because all I cared about was financial freedom and getting my client. This protocol is all about finding what actually makes you money and going all in on that absolutely one thing. As long as you get the job done, you've done, like stupendous, right? And it makes it easier to always get your shit done. Consistently makes you money, right? And that is the monk mode I used to get my first client. And it's one that makes you a winner in every situation. So let me explain a little bit more about what I mean. So we have 100 bits of energy, but I like to look at this more as a battery. And I will give you a battery drawing. Battery, boom, battery, boom. So battery. So in our battery, we have got paint, back to pencil, black, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 bits of energy in one day. So here's our 5 bits of energy. And most monk mode protocols that you will follow, which are completely fine, right? As I said before, meditation, journaling, affirmations, whatever it is all is a very good idea in order to better your life. But if you're going to spend 4 of your bits, right, so you want to go all your bits over here, and you want to put this all into your habits, you can't expect to have a successful business with 1 bit of energy, right? Whereas if you put in and you say, hey, I'm going to work on my business first, and then afterwards I'll see what I can do. So let's say you put in 4 of your bits into doing your outreach. So now this is outreach and then plus workout, right? The 2 non-negotiables that I mentioned. So this is where majority of your energy goes into right here. Then you have 1 bit left, right? In that bit, you can spend it reading whatever you want, whatever good habit you want. The person, that does their outreach and works out, instead of the person that allocates this to meditation, meditation, journaling, show you what these 2 people look like. We've got jacked guy, boom, boom, with a lot of money. We got a skinny dude with peace of mind, right? Those are the 2 options we have. I don't know if you're anything like me, but I want to be the jack guy with a lot of money, not the dude that just does all his habits but doesn't have any money, right? I want to make money. I want to be financially free. I want to do all these things. I don't see money as the end goal in life, but I need it in order to do what I actually want to do. I want freedom. So allocating a lot of my energy towards these habits that don't necessarily make me money never really worked for me, right? Because when doing this, it actually leads to, you just being fat, rolling the donut, doing Instagram reels every day. Because if you try and, this is what I would try and do, I would try and spend 4 of my bits on these habits right here, and then I would try and add on my battery and cut into my next day's battery, trying to allocate another 4 into my business. And I try and go like this and try and plan my day like that. What happens is, yeah, you might get it done. You might use 8 batteries in a day, but you only have 5 batteries in today. So you went and took 3 batteries from tomorrow. So now tomorrow you're going to only have 2 batteries. And if you use 2 batteries tomorrow, you're going to have a very, very, very bad day, because you don't have the energy, the biological energy to get anything done. And that is the monk mode protocol that if you try, I promise will get you results. So that being said, I hope that the time that I stole from you was worth the value I provided. And I hope this monk mode protocol is a breath in of fresh air that allow you to see that getting your first client really isn't that difficult.